reflexes like a mongoose on amphetamines. Waving his Wilson wand. Super scintillating and sensational from Sosa. It's tennis near the gods. No mortal may approach.
Welcome back to Tennis Near the Gods. I'm Nicholas, joined alongside my brother Alex, and today we're going to be recapping the Madrid Open that just took place and previewing the third and final Masters 1000 on clay this year in Rome. So Novak Djokovic just took the title in Madrid. That's his 33rd Masters 1000 crown, tying Rafael Nadal's record of most titles at that level. He defeated Stefanos Tsitsipas in the final 6-3, 6-4, and Tsitsipas, making his second Masters 1000 final of his career, had defeated Rafael Nadal in the round prior in the semis. And in Madrid, Roger Federer headlined the draw as making his first appearance on clay since 2016 in Rome, where he lost to Dominic Thiem. And in this tournament, he lost to Dominic Thiem as well, after having lost 2 match points.
Yes, so Roger Federer, I thought, was the biggest surprise in the tournament. I mean, he's obviously going to beat who do you beat?
Richard
Gasquet. But the way he played Thiem, the Monfils match, Monfils gets up for that match. It was a cagey match. But the way he played Thiem, I didn't think he would be able to handle Thiem's massive game on clay. But he made Thiem very uncomfortable the entire match. It was a very cagey match. He brought Thiem in, made Thiem have to hit from the baseline, which is something Thiem is not comfortable doing. He hits too big to hit from the baseline. Hits too big. His forehand, there's just not enough space for his ball to land inside the court. And he turned it into a ping pong match, very short exchanges. Didn't give Thiem a lot of time to load and to unload on the ball. And I think it messed Thiem up for the entire tournament. I think Thiem, his draw just gave him the fits, except for the Fognini match. Riley Opelka, he was in trouble. He lost the first set, and even though it looked 6-3 in the second, he was facing break points. He was in deuce games on his serve up until he went up 4-3 in the 3-all game when he was serving. He faced break points. And he was not getting a single look on the Opelka serve until Opelka just gave out for some reason. And then the Fognini match, that's a clean match. Fognini hits clean from the baseline. He has time, can unload on the ball. High-level match. And then he plays Federer. And Federer just, I think he screwed him up for the Djokovic match. Because in the Djokovic match, I mean, Djokovic did not do exactly what Federer did in terms of bringing the match inside of near the baseline. But Thiem looked uncomfortable. And I felt like it was residual effect from the Federer match. Federer gave him no rhythm. No rhythm whatsoever. He would serve and volley on second serves. He wouldn't give Thiem the light of day from returning from behind the baseline. And Federer didn't get the win. He had match points, but it's kind of like, it's the karma from saving match points against Monfils. It ends up evening out. But Thiem was lucky to escape from that match. And then he gets into the Djokovic match, and I felt like the pressure that Federer put on him just was, for some reason, looming in this match, because he pulled triggers inside or like on top of the baseline with his backhand, where I'm like, what are you doing? He was missing. He was erratic like from what seemed like from the Federer match. So that was good to see from Federer, because I was like, okay, this guy is, you think clay, like he didn't play the last 2 years because he didn't want it to wear and tear on his body. He's got a formula to play on the clay. Granted, this is faster clay than it's going to be in Roland Garros, but man, like, he is a contender. Like, even in the best out of 5 sets, I feel confident. Like, let's say he steals that set or takes that set from Thiem in the second set, he wins that match. I think he beats Djokovic. Djokovic looked dominant in the Tsitsipas match, but I think that was because Tsitsipas a little fatigued.
Fatigued. He had been playing doubles.
And Tsitsipas, in my opinion, even though I say again he's the third best clay courter, I do not to come. I do not think he matches up well with Djokovic.
He doesn't match up well against Djokovic, but I felt like his backhand really held up against Nadal.
And it's not obviously no one matches up well against Djokovic. Tough matchup to deal. But I didn't a lot of drop shots too early. He just dug himself into a hole right away.
Yeah.
And he was not about to climb out of it.
No. We saw in Madrid, Alexander Zverev got to the quarterfinals. Not too much of a surprise there in terms of its draw.
I think the other takeaway from this is, again, it's not really Nadal is fine. Losing to Tsitsipas, okay, cool, move on.
I mean, he beat Wawrinka 1-2.
1-2, annihilated him.
And Wawrinka had just been Guido Pella,
Nishikori. He had played good matches the entire tournament and annihilated him. And the Tsitsipas match, Nick, I know you think it was very high level. Obviously, if you have to beat Nadal, very high level. Nadal saves his forehand down the line for the Roland Garros. He does. That's a thing. And also, the court will be slower in Roland Garros, so he'll be fine.
Yeah, and it's best out of 5.
Best out of 5. Tsitsipas is not surviving a best out of 5 against Nadal.
No.
So those are my main takeaways from the draw. I think Cilic survives. That's someone who's been struggling. He survived match points, 5 in the Martin Klijon match, so he could have bowed out. Same with what's his name? Karen Khachanov got his first win in a while against Jaime Munar. That was an absolute war. I thought Jaime Munar should have won that match. He was up a break a couple times in the first set.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I mean, I don't take anything from Zverev. I think Zverev's better than Hurkacz and Ferrer. Even though I did say
Hurkacz was up a break in the second set, I believe. And he looked in control of that match.
Yeah, Zverev should win that. It's the Zverev. I mean, he has been struggling, so obviously that's a big confidence booster.
Defensive but that's not asserting himself.
It's the identity, not sure of his identity. Same with Karen Khachanov. Karen Khachanov teeters on the edge of playing too big. Zverev teeters on the edge of playing too soft. I think against Tsitsipas, you have to take it to him. You have to. The guy is very lively and will surge through the court, and Zverev hits big enough to force him back.
Game.
And he's going to go after it.
As you've said.
He goes after it.
And he's not afraid to play his game.
I mean, none of these guys are. But Tsitsipas goes after it, and Zverev has a bigger game than he does. He's got to force him back.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how good Tsitsipas' defense is. I'm not as confident in it as Zverev's defense. I think Zverev's defense is phenomenal. Zverev is the better player. He should win that match. In the Zverev that we have seen before, Tsitsipas is in better form. And maybe on clay too. But I think my expectations for Zverev this year, I think he should win that match. So we'll move into the Rome draw. Federer's playing in it, which is going to be interesting to see. You have Djokovic as your 1, Nadal as your 2. Nothing new there. But when I look at the draw, I see Djokovic possibly having to face Cecchinato in the third round. So that's a rematch at the quarterfinal in Roland Garros.
I don't see Cecchinato.
I could see Cecchinato giving Djokovic
I don't see much trouble there.
It's an Italian tournament. And you know what I'm going to say?
But I think Djokovic is going to be
locked
in.
What I'm going to say is look out for Fabio Fognini. Look out for him. The Italian stallion is going to come through this draw. He looked phenomenal against Joe Wilfried Tsonga. He was up a double break in the second, gave one break back.
He did look very good.
The guy
he'll beat Benoit Paire, Radu Alba.
Mentally locked in. The match,
and then Tsitsipas is playing in doubles again this week. He's probably played 8 or 9 matches.
Yannick Sinner, a 17-year-old, so he wins that. He's not going to beat Fognini. Fognini in Rome is another beast. Another beast. He's going to be locked in, dialed in. And even though I see Federer on this, I think Federer will bow out of this tournament just because Roland Garros, get to Paris. Get to Paris. I don't know why he's playing here, to be honest. I'd say just save yourself. Save yourself for the best out of 5. You know you have a shot to go deep. A shot to go deep. Like, I don't see him bowing out in a 4th round.
And because of that, I see Borna Coric having a great opportunity to quarterfinal this. And, rematch against Fognini from Monte Carlo.
And I don't see Nadal coming through this either.
You don't see Nadal. Nadal's got Dominic Thiem in this quarter. So that would be very interesting to see.
Basilashvili, I think Basilashvili will see him in the in the round of third round.
Laszlo Djere was able to beat Juan Martín del Potro last week in 7-5 in the third.
I think it's the same.
And he beat Dusan Lajovic.
No, but I think it's the same for Nadal. I think Nadal last year looked like he wanted to get to Paris when he played team. Mm-hmm. I think he's going to want to. And it's not to say like that they're not going to. It's not like 2 years ago because Nadal beat Zverev in the final.
Yeah, exactly.
But I don't understand. I don't get it. I just don't. Especially as they're getting older. Like Nadal has not been in top form. Why why put yourself into this? I think Basilashvili has given him the fits. U.S. Open match.
Basilashvili, he's too wild.
No.
He can rein it in when he's playing well, but
no, Basilashvili's playing well for one. That match will be just a slugfest. Nadal will win. I'm not saying Basilashvili is beating Nadal. But I'm saying that Basilashvili will give him a hard time.
If he even gets there.
Even though he will get there. I think team he's going to build up his ranking with these tournaments. So I think, again, I would take team over Nadal in the quarters. Just because I think... I'm not so sure. Team...
I see team Nadal over Nadal.
I think in the 1000s... I think the gap is closing between Nadal and the rest of the field, for sure.
On clay, yeah.
On clay, for sure.
He's still the favorite to win the French Open, but...
When we see the draw, it depends on the draw.
You think so?
Absolutely.
He's not going to have to play anyone before the quarters.
You don't know that. So, team moving through. I have Fognini in the semis against team. I don't know why. But I just love Fabio Fognini in Rome, what he did last year. And given that he's just produced solid tennis now. Because last tournament, I thought there was going to be a little bit of a dip. Did he play Estoril? No, he pulled out. So he hasn't played anything since Monte Carlo. So he played a good match against Thiem in Madrid. That was his first match since winning the tournament.
Yeah.
Or not his first match, but that was his first tournament. That was a high-level match. I have no problem with him losing that match. I see Fognini just finding a way through this tournament.
Well,
making the semis at least.
I see Borna Coric coming out of this section. He just survived the match against Auger-Aliassime.
I say Coric beats Fed.
I feel like he's going to be able to build up his confidence.
I think Coric beats
Fed.
Like
Luca Pouille was able to do at the Aussie Open.
I think Coric beats Fed. I don't see him beating Fognini in Italy. I don't see it. I do not see it. I see Nishikori.
Losing to Guido Pella.
Semis. Semis for Nishikori. Semis for Nishikori. You have a Team Fognini, a Nishikori, and this is where it gets interesting because Medvedev has a tough first round against Kyrgios.
Sure, but what's Kyrgios been doing?
Goffin against Wawrinka will beat Juan Martín del Potro. Whoever wins that match, I say Wawrinka beats what I see Wawrinka in the semis. Or no, he plays Djokovic. Oh man, this is tough. Because Djokovic hasn't been convincing for me. But no one has been convincing for me for this clay season. I thought the Madrid Open for Team, because I was convinced about Team. I thought, okay, he loses to Dusan Lajovic. That was just a terrible match. Move on.
Yeah.
Played great in Barcelona. And then Madrid, I was just like, what? Fed just made him look erratic. He took his rhythm from him. And that has made me question who is in form on clay right now. Nadal is not that person. And Thiem is not that person. And I'm not so sure if it's Djokovic either. I'm not so sure about that.
But then you have to look to Tsitsipas.
And I'm not so sure it's Tsitsipas either. It's completely wide open.
Yeah.
Right now.
And I feel like Tsitsipas and Thiem, they're kind of shooting themselves in the foot by playing doubles late into these tournaments.
It's not the doubles. These guys are professionals. They can recover. I think the real question is who advances into the quarters from this bottom half to. I think whoever. I'm gonna go out on a limb.
Go ahead.
And say Wawrinka makes it to the semis.
Oh no.
Wawrinka, Nishikori. Nishikori makes the final. Plays. I want to say Fognini, but it's not happening. Plays Thiem. And I think I'm going to take Thiem again.
I don't know what you're talking about now.
Nishikori,
but I've got Novak Djokovic making the quarterfinals. Then I've got Novak Djokovic making the semis, taking out Daniil Medvedev in the quarterfinals. Then I've got I'll take Alexander Zverev to play Guido Pella in the quarters, and I'll take Pella over Zverev to reach the semifinals, having Novak Djokovic defeat Pella to reach the finals once again. Then down at the bottom half of this draw, I see Fabio Fognini reaching the quarterfinals, but then losing to Borna Coric, who will make the semis. And then finally, I've got Thiem over Nadal in the quarters. The Thiem reaching the final, Thiem versus Djokovic in a rematch of the semifinal match in Madrid. And I see Thiem taking his first Masters 1000 on clay of his career.
Yeah, I agree. I take Thiem just be. I think Nishikori definitely makes the finals. But we'll catch you guys next week. We're going to wrap all this up, and then we're going to be previewing the 250s to come before
in Lyon
Roland Garros.
and Geneva. So
yeah.
thanks for listening.